So scientists are reincarnating the woolly mammoth to return in 4 years.
Interesting choice in words already. Reincarnating? What the hell? That's scary.
That's not really what they're doing though, right? But it's interesting too because 90% of all animals that have ever existed are dead. They're extinct. So it's like, are we going to just keep doing this? And what kind of consequences is that going to have for the animals that are alive right now? Like, what if they start reintroducing saber-toothed tigers? What if they start reintroducing, all these animals that at one point in time dominated the earth?
Dude, I wonder if a Jurassic Park will ever exist.
It fucking totally can exist.
Oh, man, I hope it does. I really hope it does. I'll pay whatever.
Fuck yeah.
I'll pay whatever they ask to see a velociraptor.
Oh, my God.
Any amount of money.
We know how that ends. That ends bad.
Yeah, yeah.
With them killing all of us.
Yeah, no one stopped to ask, should we do it?
Yeah.
That's like one of my favorite lines from that movie.
It adds bad in the movie. It ends bad in the movie. In real life, you have fucking jets just flying and nuke these fucks.
They made that crazy fucking raptor T-Rex. No one can stop that one.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
But the Indominus Rex.
But that's just like the silliness of 2, 3, 4, 5. Jurassic 1 was the shit. That was really what it was at. Like, what did you do?
Yeah.
My favorite fucking part of the movie is Jeff Goldblum when he first sees the brontosaurus when he's in the Jeep and he gets up and he's like, and he looks at that, they're like, what the fuck did you do?
Yeah.
I think that's possible, man. I think they're probably going to do it eventually.
They have to, right?
Time. Yeah.
It's a matter of time before that happens. It's probably a matter of time before we cure cancer and figure out how to live to 500 years. It's a matter of time before anything, unless we blow ourselves up.
Unless we blow ourselves up, which is also real possible. Or we get hit with an asteroid, which is also real possible.
Ooh.
That's the big one.
That would suck.
That's the big one. I've been obsessed with that for years.
Really?
Yeah, because of my conversations with Randall Carlson and Graham Hancock. And Graham Hancock is the one who did that. There's a recent Netflix special, a series. It's really amazing called Ancient Catastrophe, right? Do I say it right? Apocalypse. Ancient Apocalypse. And this is, it's all about what's called the Younger Dryas impact theory, which is somewhere around 11,800 years ago, the Earth got fucking pelted with asteroids. And there's all this physical evidence in the form of nanodiamonds, these micro diamonds that are created upon impact when these giant rocks slam into the Earth, just the heat and the power and the pressure. And then also iridium. Iridium, which is very common in space but very rare on Earth. There's a layer of iridium all over the Earth around this time, around 11,800 years ago. And this also coincides with the end of the Ice Age. And Randall Carlson's life's work has been explaining how this has this impact that happened, and they know exactly what it is. It's through a very specific meteor shower that we pass through every June and every November. And that you see the meteor showers in the sky and everybody looks at them, but passing through that, occasionally a big one goes through. And those big ones, he thinks, slammed into the ice that was covering North America, because at that point in time, during the Ice Age, North America had a sheet of ice covering half of it that was like a mile, 2 miles high. And all that stuff is what you see when you see the Great Lakes. That's melted ice. And that he thinks that it happened almost instantaneously. And that these things slammed into the ice, they slammed into parts of the world, and that is the flood story from the Bible. That's the Epic of Gilgamesh. That's all these different things. And it also shows why there's all these like super sophisticated structures that seem to be thousands of years older than they previously thought they were. So what him and Graham Hancock have come up with, and that's what's in this Ancient Apocalypse documentary, is that at one point in time, there was an incredibly sophisticated society that lived on Earth. And that's the Africans, the Egyptians. What they had done in, whatever thousands of years it was that they built that stuff, because it's under dispute as to how old it really is. It's at the very earliest, the very least, it's 2,500 BC. But they think it's way older than that. And these people had technology that we still don't understand. We don't know what they used. We don't know how they did it. But they moved 2,300,000 stones that were tons, some of them from hundreds of miles. They cut obelisks out of the mountains and moved them 1,000 miles. They don't have no idea how they did it. They have no idea what they used to cut them. They have no idea what they used to move them. And you're talking about people at that point in time You know, when you're dealing with 5,000, 6,000 years ago, we thought they were like hunter-gatherers. Like, how did they do that?
Yeah.
If it's really 10,000 years old, 12,000 years old, 20,000 years old, what kind of sophisticated culture exists that went on a different path than we went on? We went on the path of internal combustion engines and electricity and computers. They might have gone on a similarly advanced or more advanced way, but with a completely different angle. They came at technology from a completely different space. And that's what we see when we see those stone structures. I'm worried that could happen to us. And I'm worried that if something like that did happen, there would be very little evidence of the society that's left. You'd have a small group of people that survived and lived in fucking utter barbaric conditions. And I think that's also why people are so fucking savage. When you look at human beings like 6,000, 5,000 years ago, what we're probably seeing, according to Graham Hancock and a lot of other people now at this point in time are coming to this conclusion, is a reemergence of civilization, not the birth of civilization. What we think of as the emergence of civilization, we think of Babylonia and ancient Sumer, and this is the first mathematics, the first written language, the first agriculture. And what they think now is this is just a rebirth of a complicated society, and that for the 6,000 years plus after the impacts, it was probably hell on earth. And the people that survived were fucking monsters.
Yeah.
Just monsters. And that is probably why people were so fucking savage post the construction of this insanely complex civilization in Egypt. I mean, what they did in Africa to this day is one of the most puzzling things that archaeologists have to ponder.
Yeah.
Like, how? What is this insanely sophisticated society that existed that built these structures and left behind no record of how they did it?
Yeah.
All the burning of the Library of Alexandria, all the ancient work that they had, where they had like passed down what had happened, all that was gone when they got attacked and they burnt down the library.
I know. I love that so much of science is so unknown still.
Yeah.
Isn't that cool, man? That's pretty cool. Like, sometimes I think that our society gets super caught up on like how sophisticated and how smart we all are and this and that. And like, I think it's like a nice reminder sometimes to have other people question things and just like come up with different theories and ideas, because it reminds everyone that we're not all as smart as we sometimes think. You know, because I do think that we live in a society where we think that we're so much smarter than the humans that were around 5,000-6,000 years ago, when really is the same body, same brain. We just got more shit, you know?
Yeah, we probably aren't as smart as the Egyptians.
No.